Hello YouTube, Jerry Kirkpatrick here, and mistakenly in my last video I mentioned that in Quarantine Quickie number 9 and 10 I was going to do a walkthrough on my top and bottom box here in my shop, the one that I use on a daily basis. Yesterday I went through each of the drawers and found that the majority of them had a tool that I had made along the way since back in the 60s that I've made specifically for a job that I was doing. And the top box has quite a few of them, 8 or 10, but the bottom box is just chock full of them, especially the drawer that I have all of my engine building or rebuilding equipment in. And one of the things that you will see in there is a tool that I made back in 1970. Well, at the end of 69, right around Christmas time, 69 and 70, that has a connection between Mario Andretti and Snap-on tools. And when I get down to that particular drawer, I'll pull the piece out and explain that correlation. So what I've decided to do, instead of just walking through both of the toolboxes and showing you screwdrivers, wrenches, and passing over some of the tools that I've made, I'm going to go a little bit slower, and I'll do this all in one take, I guess you could say. I'm going to film the whole thing and then make a decision as I'm editing how many blocks it will take. As I'm going through and I see a tool that I've made for a specific job, I'll spend a little bit of time with that tool, show you how it was made and what that particular tool was used for. But before we start looking through the toolbox itself, there's something that I might mention for any of you who have a toolbox that is pretty much stationary, like this one is. My shop is small enough. I keep my toolbox here all the time, so I don't have to worry about moving it around and knocking some of this stuff off. So the first thing I would suggest is, if you have a stationary box, build some kind of shelf above it. This one has a door that when the top is down, it covers all of the drawers, which is this shelf here. I just put a support on one side. Yes, it should have two, but I'm not putting enough weight on here to worry about. By doing so, you're picking up quite a number. I think I've got almost 6 square feet of surface area just on the top and the bottom of this shelf. I have all of my cleaning and lubricating stuff up here, plus my leak check. When I see a drop in my air pressure, I leave my compressors on all day, turn them off at night. When I come in the morning, if the needle has dropped, I'll take my leak check and start right at the tank and keep on going out until I find the leak, make that repair, and then get on. I also use it every time I change my argon, CO2, and oxyacetylene bottles. So having that handy and full all of the time is a big help. And then just regular parts cleaner. By having the shelf and being metallic, I can hang stuff underneath here using magnetization. No, I can't spell it. To hang different items. Here we have a telescoping magnet for picking up stuff that always goes under the toolbox. A light that is magnetic and a clip. This is a Allen wrench for setting the valve lash on a midget motor. With the water pump being mounted on the front, the Allen bolt that allows you to turn the motor to set the valves is way back there, so I needed an extra long one. These are all ball end Allen wrenches, and here are stubby Allen wrenches. And if you don't have a set of these, I would suggest that you get them, because with them being short, you don't get that torque through the shaft of an Allen wrench. When you use one of these, when you go to break it loose, it breaks loose right now. You don't have to use an eighth of a turn before the yield of the Allen wrench takes place and you open the part or the bolt. So with that done, let's get into the top of my top box. So here in the top, leaning against the back of the lid, is a roll of 035, 032 safety wire, a set of hex drive snap-on sockets, 3/8, a complete set of both deep and shallow metric and fractional snap-on ratchet set. I don't know if you can see that down in here. We'll get another picture of this. A bunch of adapters, nut drivers, and then nut drivers for the cordless impact. These are fairly happy, and a sticker I got when I went to the Carroll Shelby Memorial. All right then, so in the top of the top box, I have deep, fractional, shallow, metric, shallow, fractional. These are all 3/8 drive. I only have in my top box 3/8 and 1/4 inch drive. My 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch drive socket sets, which I very seldom use, are over in another box. I just don't use them. I use almost exclusively 3/8 drive. Here is a ratchet spinner, 3/8 screwdriver handle that fits the 3/8. Now this ratchet here is quite unique in that it will ratchet normally, but you can also move the handle back and forth, and no matter which way you turn it, the head turns in the way that you have the ratchet set. That's pretty neat for getting into some fairly tight spaces. Here is a seldom used ratchet. I keep it here because one day I'll probably need it to make another tool. Here's my old Champion spark plug wrench. And probably got that back in the early 60s, 63 to 5. My old Craftsman 3/8 drive, breaker bar, all the extensions. Here are those adapters I was talking about. This one changes my 1/4 inch drive to a 3/8 drive with a wobbler. I don't know if you're familiar with a Bonnie wobbler, but that's the Bonnie wobbler. This set here is long and short 1/4 inch drive S&K. This is a old 1/4 inch drive that it's the only thing I had for many years. My crow's foot, couple of 1/4 inch drive handles. These are just extras. This one here is from 3/8 to 1/2 inch with a Bonnie wobbler. Makes a wobbler out of your socket. And this tool here is made for any kind of handle that has an opening. You can put these two as a spanner and turn any kind of handle, either a T-handle or like a faucet handle. All of these are spark plug wrenches for different size spark plugs. Extra 3/8 drive deep sockets. This socket is for both water and oil cinder units. That's about all there. Oh, all the way down on the end, right here, is a pair of didymium glasses, and I use those for forge welding and for plasma cutting. They cut both gamma and ultraviolet rays. Here's a very extra long speed wrench. This belonged to my dad. And about the only time I've used this was to loosen the bottom bolt on a turbocharged diesel, Ford diesel. You have to get it from the bottom, but it's up on top. 1/4 inch drive speed handle, 3/8 drive speed handle. And that concludes the top of the top box. Oh, I forgot, there are 3 other items that I forgot. They're kind of tucked in back here behind these other spare wrenches or sockets. I have 2 extra long 3/8 drive extensions, but the main thing I wanted to show you is this. It's a flexible 1/4 inch drive. You can put anything, any 1/4 inch socket or anything on here, but what I have is a special piece from Snap-on that is a screwdriver, and it's captured. Let me see if this will focus. There you go. And that just snaps right on here. And for adjusting carburetors, this is the tool that you want. For almost anything other than a Holly, where the adjusting screws are on the side, an AFB, thermal quadrajet, anything where your adjusting screws are in the front of the carburetor, this is an excellent piece to have. And let me see if I can find a number. I can't see a part number stamped on it. No. One neat thing it has is right on the end, there's a little arrow, and you can look at the front of the carburetor, see which way the slot for the idle adjusting screw is. Turn this until you get to the right angle, and then you can watch the arrow and see how much you're turning it. Usually when I first build the engine, I come out 1.5 turns. Get it started and then start making your adjustments from there. So I thought that is a very good tool for you to see. Okay, let's get on to the drawers.